going to do a all levels yoga class in just a few minutes. Get the camera set up here. Awesome. Got a few minutes here to see if anyone joins. Hello. Okay, so I'll wait a few minutes. We're going to do a all levels yoga class tonight. If anyone would like to join, parts are all. We'll start off with some breathing and some lying down stretches and kind of move through some different stretches. So we'll give it about a minute or two to see if anyone else will join here, and then we'll get started. Hello, hey Scott. Awesome. Okay, so we're just waiting just a bit to see if anyone comes here, but find yourself a comfortable seated position. So whatever that means to you. I like, personally, crisscross applesauce. You can always keep your feet underneath your hips or the feet extended long in front of you. If you think it's nice to check in with the hips here, it's nice for the hips to be above the knees if you're in that crisscross applesauce position. And you can do that by putting a little bit of height. I have a meditation seat here, but you can also just stick a pillow or a blanket under there. I do think when you're putting a blanket or a towel or something like that, it can be nice to make sure it's flat and smooth so that you're not feeling all the bumps underneath your seat. So finding somewhere comfortable to be. And then just check in with your foundation here. So shoulders over top the hips so that we're in a nice straight line instead of slouching through our backs. So seeing if you can sit up nice and tall in the spine. Chin level with the earth. And you can start to just kind of notice your breath. So it is always my intention for yoga to be accessible. And with that, I think I really enjoy doing all levels yoga classes because I believe that yoga is for everybody. However, if you do feel that you are able to donate, I put my donation link in my bio on both Facebook and Instagram. That's my Venmo there. If you have any other questions, you can let me know. Yeah, so for me, yoga is about connection. We use our breath to connect with the body, the soul, the mind, and have them all connected. And I feel that from that place of connection, the more time that I spend in that connection, the more clarity that I'm able to have in my life. The more I can make decisions from my heart. So my hope tonight is that you're able to, through breath-centered movements, find a place of connection so that you're better able to come at your life from more of a heart-centered place and be able to get more clarity. Because from that, I think that you're able to tap in with more of that intuition that we all have. Our soul, our heart knows what's good for us. It's once we have that disconnection and all of the stuff that gets in the way from the world, that it can seem harder to figure out where our path is. But the more we connect, the more these opportunities just kind of lay out in front of us and the path unfolds. So with that, we'll start to connect more with our breath. I'll lead us in one sound of Om first. So feel free to join in if you'd like. Om is the three unique sounds, Ah, O, and blended together to make one beautiful Om sound. You can join in if you'd like, or just listen. The hands can come to the heart. Take a deep breath in. You can bring your hands down to your thighs, softly blink open the eyes, and we'll start on our backs today. On your backs, bringing the feet together and the knees apart, reclined all the way back like a butterfly position. Hey, Christina. Ritually always turns into a star when the camera comes out. She gets super needy. So feet together, knees apart. Bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. If this is a whole lot on your knees, and you have pillows or blocks or books in your body, you can give them a little support. If it's still just too much, you don't have any of those things, you can also bring your feet wide and your knees together. So finding a place here, one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, where you can just start to connect with the breath. Noticing how the breath moves in and out of the body. Noticing the speed, the rhythm, the length of the breath. There's no need to judge it, label it good or bad, just becoming aware. The more awareness we bring to the breath, the more of a relationship we can make with it, the more connection we can build. Notice if the breath is at just the belly, or if you also feel it at the heart, in the chest area. Oftentimes we go out our day just belly breathing, never having this full breath that moves it through the entirety of the lungs. And while that is okay to be able to take more deep breath that moves all the way into the chest and give our bodies more oxygen, it can bring us to more of a out of the sympathetic nervous system and more into the parasympathetic nervous system. We can let our bodies know we're safe and we don't need to be in fight or flight. So let's try that. See if we can move our breath, first inhaling into our belly, and then continue to inhale. So it's a nice long inhale all the way up into the chest. And then as you exhale, start with releasing the breath from the chest, and then exhale all the air out of the belly. Inhale, fill the belly up with air. Fill all the way up to the chest. Sip in a little bit more air all the way to the collarbones. And as you exhale, letting go of the air from the chest, letting go of the air from the belly. Breathe into the belly, fill your belly up with air. You might feel the hand on your belly rise. The belly gets bigger. Keep breathing into the chest, all the way up to the collarbones. And as you exhale, let the air from the chest out, the air from the belly out. You can do a few more like that. Nice, slow, deep breathing. Last breath here. Inhaling all the way up to the collarbones. Exhaling all of the air out of the lungs. See if you can rid the lungs of all air. Beautiful. And then you can softly blink open the eyes if they were closed. Take your hands outside of the knees and then use the strength of the arms to push your knees back together. Just when they are open for that long, we want to give a little support so we don't hurt the muscle. And then take the knees into the chest. Give your knees a nice big squeeze. Give yourself a nice hug, showing yourself gratitude. Maybe rocking side to side a little bit. And then eventually take the knees all the way over to the left side. We'll do a little twist here. So the knees are coming to the left, but see if you can twist your torso open to the right. So your torso is facing the opposite direction of your knees. Your right hand can either come out into an extended position like a T, or you can bend at the elbow into more of a cactus goalpost arm. I feel that I have to say both now because I might not only be teaching to people in Arizona. So cactus, I feel like, is a term people in Arizona use more often. So as you're breathing here, see if you can inhale from the base of the spine, come all the way through the spine. So feel the breath as you breathe in, move up the body, and as you breathe out, move open in the body. So you're twisting on the exhale. Left hand can either be on the knee, you can also just lay out in front, whatever's comfortable there. One more breath. And then slowly untwist. Take the knees back through center. If you want to give them one more big hug here, you can. And then you'll take the knees all the way over to the right side. And then that means the chest, the torso opens up to the left. So we're twisting again. Left hand either in a T or bending at the elbow to take it for a goalpost or cactus. And so it's the other side, but the gaze can be straight up or it can be over towards the left if that doesn't bother the neck. So each inhale, feel it move up, the breath move up the spine, creating length. Each exhale, give yourself a little bit more twist, opening up. Keep grounding both shoulders on the earth. One more breath here. And then slowly untwist. Hug the knees in once more. Maybe a little rock side to side. And then take your hands on your knees. We're going to do a little movement through the hips following the breath. So as you breathe in, use your hands to push your knees open. So it's opening up through the hips. And then push your knees away from you, and they're coming closer together. And then back through the center, all the way in towards you. So we'll do that with the breath. Breathe in, opening the hips up, coming into a circle. As you breathe out, they come back together and in. So we're just doing hip circles. Opening up, breathing in, breathing out. So just follow your breath. There isn't really a whole right or wrong with this, just whatever feels good. Just a place to kind of connect with that breath. And then circle it out the other way. Breathing in, breathing out, pushing it away. Inhale, circles. Exhale, push away. One more. Inhale, circle. Exhale, push away. And the feet can come down to the ground. We're going to turn our knees open to one direction, the other, maybe to the right. And then push yourself up to a seated position. Cross the legs, and then we'll come all the way through up to our hands and knees. So hands will be directly underneath the shoulders. Take a moment to line up the foundation here. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. So as if that webbing between your fingers was stretching as much as it can. The index fingers are parallel with one another and facing forward. The knees are directly underneath your hips. So for reference, and now that we've set up our hands, this will be harder to do, but it's about 2 fists apart. So there's space between the knees, and then the feet are going straight back behind the knees. Feet are uncurled, so that the tops of the feet are flat on the ground. Nice. And then just kind of give yourself a little bit of organic movement. Maybe move the hips, however feels best. Maybe little circles in the hips, circles in the shoulders, figure eights. And eventually just coming back to a stable center position. Taking the left leg back behind you. Keep pressing through both hands evenly. I find that as the left leg lifts, the left hand wants to compensate and take more of the pressure. So see if you can even that out between the left and the right. Flex the left toes and feel that long line of energy. So as if you're standing on a wall that may or may not be behind you. Taking a deep breath in, feel length coming out from behind the leg. And as you exhale, see if you can crunch that left knee towards the left elbow. It might not come all the way there, but it can feel really great if you open up through the hip, taking it out wide. Breathe in, take it back behind you. Do this with your breath again. Breathe out, crunch left knee towards left elbow. Breathe in, length. Breathe out, crunch. Breathe in, length. And then take the left knee back to the ground. The left knee coming right under the left hip. And then take the right leg back behind you. Notice how the weight wants to distribute in the hands and see if you can make them even. Flex the right feet so toes are facing down towards the ground. Long line of energy. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Bring the right knee towards the right elbow, opening up through that right hip. Breathe out, it comes back behind you. Breathe in, crunch right knee towards right elbow. Breathe out, back behind you. Last one, breathe in, crunch right knee to right elbow. Breathe out, take it back behind you. And then return it to the earth. Awesome. Keep pressing the hands into the earth. Press the left hand evenly. Keep spreading the fingers nice and wide. Lift the right arm so that the bicep is by your ear. And then kind of pull the arm back so that the arm bone is kind of coming back and towards that socket. I call it like plugging into the arm. Keep pressing the left hand, spreading those fingers wide, rooting down with the index knuckle to the thumb knuckle. So feel that pressing, kind of like the letter L. Keep pressing the right foot into the earth, the top of the right foot. Hug your core in, so your navel's pulling in and up, maybe rounding through the back a little bit. See if you can find your balance there in order to lift the left leg back behind you. See if you can extend from the right arm all the way back to the left foot. Flexing that left foot again as if you're standing on a wall. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Keep finding your breath. You can either just focus on your balance right here, or if you want to try it a little bit further, you can bend the left knee. You can try to take the right arm long beside the body, reaching back behind you. Maybe you just keep reaching, or maybe you're really close to that back foot and you can grab the left foot with the right hand. But notice what's best for your body. Listen, connect, trust your intuition. If you have the foot, kick the foot into the hand, hand into the foot, in order to lift the chest, opening up through the heart. Keep breathing. When you do choose to come out, do so with grace, moving slow, just the way you came in. So we're not flinging the body parts, but we're exiting and then taking both limbs back to the earth. So coming out of the pose is just as much part of yoga. Pressing the right hand into the earth, spreading the right fingers nice and wide. Lift the left hand so the bicep is by the ear. Plug that left arm back into the arm socket. Keep spreading the right fingers wide. Keep pushing the top of the left foot onto the earth. Hug your core in, navel's coming in and up. Press down through the right hand, lift the right leg back behind you. Flex your right foot as if you're standing on a wall behind you. See if you can find the balance here. And it's okay if you move out of the balance. It's okay if you rock. Just keep breathing and focusing on the belly. This is a great spot to practice. Or you can bend the right knee. You can also take the left hand back behind you. So there's always stops along the way, noticing what's best for your body. If you can, and you'd like to reach for that back foot, with the left hand, you can kick the foot into the hand into the foot, in order to lift the chest up, open through the heart. Breathe here. When you choose to come out, do so slowly by first extending the limbs long, and then bringing them both back to the earth. And then let's have a rest. Take the knees apart, feet come together. Child's pose by bringing your seat back towards your heels. Lower the chest to the earth. Ground your forehead on the earth. Breathe. Taking a moment to find some stillness, to connect. Maybe notice your belly getting larger as you take breath in, getting closer to the ground. And your belly getting smaller as you breathe out. Maybe play with the arms a little bit. So you can try flipping the palms to face up. Or you can take the arms long behind you. Notice which one feels better, and maybe go with, instead of overthinking it, just go with what the intuition is telling you in this moment, what your body needs. Maybe it likes the original position of the palms flat best. One more breath here. And then push into the palms. Walk the palms back to the knees. Lift the torso upright. Bring the knees all the way together. so that the thighs are coming to touch as well. And if this is not at all comfortable for the body, you can always just come to a crisscross applesauce and sit upright that way too. You can either stay here, if this is best for your body, or you can take the seats off over to the left, so that you're sitting more on the ground, not really on the feet. So with a little twist here, your left hand can come outside of the right thigh. The right hand can come back behind you. If you are still sitting on the feet and you didn't do the butt off to the left, and your right hand doesn't quite reach the back, you can always put a block under it, or you can just take it to your low back, whatever's best for you. So here in this twist, inhaling, sitting up nice and tall, from the base of the spine out the crown of the head. Exhale, twist, looking over the back shoulder, getting long in that left side body. Breathe in, sit up nice and tall. Breathe out, twist, look behind you. Each inhale, find length, so that on the exhale, we can use that length to twist. And slowly untwist. And then twist the opposite way now, just for a little bit of a counter. Just twisting the body open the other way. And then move back on top of the feet if you're not already there, and then take the seat off over to the right. Take the left hand behind you, right hand comes outside of the left knee. Breathe in, sit up nice and tall. Breathe out, twist, looking over the back shoulder. Each inhale, find a little bit more length. Each exhale, use that to find twist. And then slowly untwist and do a little bit of a counter twist the other way, opening the chest, the side body up to your right. And then coming back to center. And then walk the hands forward so you're in that tabletop again. Curl the toes under. Take your hands so that they're a little bit, probably about a palm print in front of the shoulders. Still spreading the fingers wide. Still having the index fingers parallel and facing front. Toes are curled under. Shoulder blades draw down the back. Lift the knees about an inch or two off the ground and pause there. Notice that slight curve that you've made in the low back. Try to keep that slight curve there as you bring your hips up and back, bringing your legs towards straight. I say towards because it's always okay to keep a bend in the knees to protect the hamstrings. Keep pressing through the index fingers, those index knuckles, and the thumbs. Make that L connection in the ground on both hands. Keep drawing the shoulder blades open more. You can play with walking out the dog here, maybe bending the left knee, straightening into the right, feeling what you feel in that hamstring, connecting with those muscles, and then maybe bend to the right, straighten to the left. Breathe into any tight spots. Notice if one side or the other is a little bit more tight. Maybe give yourself a little bit more breathing room there. And as you inhale, lift both heels nice and high. As you exhale, take your heels over to the right. So you're not really moving anything with the rest of the body, just the heels. And then you might notice that can give you more of a stretch on that left side body. Keep pushing down with that right heel. Keep lifting up through the armpits. Weight even on both hands. Breathe in, lift the heels back high. As you breathe out, take the heels over to the left side so you're getting long in that right side body. Keep pressing evenly through both hands. Breathe in, lift the heels again. As you breathe out, take the heels back towards the ground. The heels do not have to touch, it's just that direction.
And then slowly walk the hands back to meet the feet. So one palm at a time. Moving the weight from one hand to the other. And then coming all the way to the back of your mat. Scooch forward so you can see a little. And then fold forward. So keep a bend in the knees. You want your low ribs to sit on your upper thighs. So you want to maintain that connection. So that might mean a slight or maybe a lot of a bend in the knee to get there. Let the head totally hang. Try to release the muscles in the neck so that we're not straining the neck, straining the head to hold it up. Maybe shake the head, yes, shake it now. And then shimmy the feet out a little bit wider. Take the right hand to the ground underneath the nose. If it's hard for your hand to get there, you can always put a pillow, block, book underneath. It can always even be like a water bottle that your hand sits on too, if that's a good length for you. You can either press the whole hand flat into the ground, or sometimes I like to come up on my fingertips, but nice and light in the fingertips. Try not to put too much strain there. So pressing the right hand into the ground, bend to the right knee, keep the left leg straight, and then twist the torso open to the left side, taking the left hand up, as long as that's okay with the shoulder. Left hand can either reach straight up at the ceiling, or the left wrist can also come to the right hip crease. This is a twist here, so as you inhale, you're feeling that twist coming from the base of the spine out the crown of the head, so you're getting length. As you exhale, you're twisting the torso open more to the left. If you have a wrap, extend the hand up towards the ceiling again, and maybe circle out to the left wrist, one direction, the other. Deep breath in, and as you breathe out, untwist, bring the left hand to meet where the right was. It's replacing that. Bend through the left knee, straighten through the right. Then as you inhale, twist open all the way to the right. Right hand comes up overhead. So starting with length through the spine. In order to exhale, twist the torso more open to the right. Right wrist can either keep reaching up towards the ceiling, or right wrist to left hip crease. Neither is right or wrong, good or bad. It's just noticing what our body feels right. Inhale, if your hand is wrapped, reach it back up towards the ceiling and circle out the right wrist. One direction and the other. And then untwist, both hands come back to the ground, let the head hang. And then take the hands to the hips, slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, come all the way up to standing. And we do that slow so we don't get dizzy because we are upside down for a while. And then you can shimmy the feet back in to either be hip distance, again that 2/5 part, or they can come all the way to touch if that feels better for the body. I personally like a little space in between, so I'll have my hips, my feet right underneath my hips. I'll have my shoulders right on top of the hips. And I open up through the arms, through the shoulders. And then take a moment here to just notice how the body feels with all the bones stacked, reaching up through the crown of the head without lifting the chin. So the chin is staying level, parallel with the earth. Shoulder blades drawing down the back. And as you inhale, look up, reach up. Your hands will come all the way towards the ceiling. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, so you're going to have a flat back. Your hands will come to your shins, looking in front of the feet. Exhale, fold back forward. And then walk your hands all the way out to about a plank pose. So you might have to walk the feet back a little bit to get there. Nice long spine here. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Nice long stance here. Get comfortable in your down dog for a second, reaching the hips up and back. Keep pressing the index and the thumb into the earth. And then reach the right leg back behind you. Step the right leg all the way through so that the right foot is eventually coming between the hands. Maybe one big step, maybe it takes a few little steps or a assist from the hand to get there. Walk your left foot over about an inch or two. That will give room between your feet, left and right, so that you're not on this tightrope. You have kind of train tracks here between the feet. Bend deeply into the right knee, straight and strong back leg. Bring the right hand inside of the right foot. Maybe you shimmy the right foot out a little bit to get there. Right foot still facing forward. We have options here. So either you can stay up, lifting the left leg nice and strong, super energized here, or you can just relax the knee to the earth. That might be a lot more of a stretch in the left hip crease though, so notice what's better for your body. If the left knee is lifted, try to keep it lifted and energized, but it's okay to bring it to the floor too. If you have the left foot to the floor, I find it nicer to uncurl the toes so the foot can be flat, so that there's not as much strain in that calf area. More options, you can either stay up on your hands, or you can lower to your forearms. There's an in-between option too if you have a block or book, or maybe even like a pillow or a rolled blanket. You can use that prop to give your forearms somewhere in between to go to. This is called lizard, and it can be a really big stretch on both of the hip creases. So don't push the body too far, don't force, but listen. Use the breath to kind of connect with any tight spots that you're feeling here. Keep hugging the right knee in towards the right arm, so that the right knee isn't flaring open, but you're hugging it in. Extend forward with the chest, and then just relax here for a few moments to breathe. This is working the psoas muscle as well, which is the fight or flight muscle. We tend to store a lot of emotions, tension, fear here. So it might be tighter than normal. There might be things that come up. So just honor that, notice that. One more breath. And push the hands back into the ground if you're on your forearms, so that you straighten through the arms. If your back knee is on the ground, you can curl the toes and lift the knee up. Push the hands into the earth, step the right foot back to meet the left. Downward facing dog, push the hips up and back. Maybe shake out the legs a little bit. And then lift the left leg back behind you, step the left foot forward so that the left foot is coming between the hands. And then you'll move the left hand so that it's inside of the left foot. Step the left foot over about an inch or two, so you're making space between the feet. And then you also have room for that left arm to come in. So you can either bring the right knee to the ground. If it's not on the ground, have it be super strong, straight and energized. If it's on the ground, uncurl the back toes, the top of the foot is flat. The both hands can stay on the ground, or you can come down to your forearms, either all the way down or onto a prop. Hug the left knee in towards the shoulder. Breathe in to the tight spots that show up here. Notice any difference or similarity from this side versus the other. Breathe. One more breath here. If you're on your forearms, you can straighten back into your arms, push your hands into the earth. If you're on your knee, you can uncurl through the, or you can curl through the back toe, so lift the knee, and then step the left foot back to meet the right. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Fill the belly up with air. Breathe out, let all the air go. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then we'll actually just come to a seated position. You can just walk your feet up and do that. Or you can try and do a little hop by taking a big bend in the knees, coming up high onto the toes and taking a big bend in the knees, getting light in the abs, so feeling that navel pull in and up like we did on our tabletop earlier, and then try and be super light in the feet, jumping forward, cross the legs to the middle, and come to seated, or just come to seated. That's always an option as well. I am going to put a little bit of height underneath my seat again so that I'm lifting my hips over my knees, giving that pelvic bowl a little tilt forward. Take both legs long in front of you. Shake out the legs a little bit. And then bend the left knee. Take the left foot into the groin so that the left knee is opening up towards the left. Turn your torso a little bit towards the right, so it's kind of coming over that right extended leg a little bit. Flex the right feet so the toes are coming back towards the nose. Breathe in, reach the hands up overhead. As you breathe out, you're going to slowly start to fold forward, but see if you can do so with a straight spine, so instead of rounding your back. And how to do that is let your hands come down wherever they meet. As you inhale, let your chest come forward. So the chest comes more, I would say towards me, but I don't know if the phone is in front of you. So just more forward. And as you exhale, the chest lowers towards the ground. Inhale, chest is coming forward, maybe more towards your foot. As you exhale, lower, chest comes closer towards the leg. So if you move slow like that, each breath in you find that length. Before the breath out, you find a lower. That can help you have that straight spine. If at any point you feel that spine begin to round, just back out a little bit. You don't have to come all the way down. It's more important to have proper form, good alignment. You can keep a bend in that right knee so that you're not overstretching in the hamstring too. That is always okay. One more breath here. And then slowly lift the torso up, walk the hands back. Take the left leg long in front of you. Bend the right knee. Bring the right foot into the groin so that the right knee is opening up towards the right. Twist the torso over to the left a little bit so it's coming more towards the left of that left extended foot. As you breathe in, circle the hands up overhead. As you breathe out, fold forward with a straight spine, letting the hands meet wherever they do. Maybe that's on the ground. Maybe that's the shin, the ankle, the foot, not forcing. You can keep a slight bend in the knee to protect the hamstring, and then follow your breath. Each inhale, let that lead your chest forward. Each exhale, let that lead the chest down. Backing out, whatever is best for you. Listen to your intuition. Your pose doesn't have to look like mine or anyone else's. Your pose is what's best for your body. The outer form is only really a small portion of yoga. What's actually important in yoga is the internal form, so the breath, the connection with the soul, the clarity that forms from it, the connection with our heart that leads us more on our path, more towards the decisions that just support us.
Deep breath in here. As you breathe out, slowly walk the hands back, lift the torso up. Take both legs long again and shake out the legs. Let all that energy kind of move out. And then we'll come to lay on our backs. So laying all the way down, take your right leg, cross it over your left so that your knees are hugging on top of each other. So instead of having a gap between, see if they can stay as connected as they'll get. Lift both legs off of the ground. Take your left leg over more towards the right, and then the right leg's coming more towards the left. See if you can use your hands to grab the outer edges of the feet. And that might not happen, and that's perfectly okay. You can just keep hugging the feet in towards the hips. If you do have the feet, you can give them a little squeeze in towards the hips. You might notice that's a bigger stretch that creates in the hips. Take a moment here just to breathe. Gently release the legs. Bring the left foot down towards the ground. And then push the foot into the ground, lift the hips just slightly, and bring them over just slightly to the right. Then take the knees over to the left. So this is a twist, like we did earlier, but just with our legs wrapped now. So that means the torso is going to open up to our right. Right hand can, again, just be out in a T or cactus. You can use the left hand to add a little bit more pressure onto the left thigh if you want a little bit more twist. You can use the left knee to push down more on the right shin to get a little bit more stretch if that feels good. And then slowly untwist, reaching the knees back up towards the ceiling, and then untwist the legs as well. We'll twist in the opposite direction now. So the left, you can take the hips back through center, so then the left knee is going to hug over the right, so that the knees are clamping shut, there's no space in between the knees. Lift the legs off the ground, bring the knees closer to the chest. Bring your right foot over more towards the left foot over more towards the right. Either just hug them in towards the hips or grab them opposite hand to opposite foot. You can do a little bit more of a kick of the feet away, or maybe pull them a little towards the hips, noticing the sensations that come up, breathing through them. Slowing the breath down. Gently release the feet. Bring the right foot towards the ground. Lift the hips up just slightly, and then a teeny bit over to the left. Take the knees over towards the right. Open up with the chest, the torso to the left. Hand opens out to the left. Gaze can go over to the left as well. You can use the right hand to push into that left thigh.
then slowly untwist, take the knees back up to center, and then you can untwist the legs to bring the hips back to center as well. So flatten that low back down. Take the hands long beside you. Walk the heels in enough so that the top of the heels graze the tips of the fingers. Setting up for bridge pose, you want your feet to be about hip distance. Press the feet into the ground in order to lift the hips up. We're going to shimmy the shoulders underneath the back. You can do so two ways. You can either grab the outer edges of the mat to pull it apart as if you were going to rip the mat to shimmy right shoulder under, left shoulder under, or you can interlace the fingers under the back to shimmy, whatever is best for your body. So you're lifting your hips up towards the ceiling, the sky, or wherever you're at. Keep pushing the feet into the ground to keep lifting the hips. Chest is coming more towards the chin. It's like throat lock there, which is called Jalandhara Bandha. Breathe here. Keep pushing the feet into the ground. Keep using the breath to find some comfort in this maybe uncomfortable pose. Keep lifting the hips, opening up through the heart. One more breath. And as you breathe out, slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, lowering down, taking the hands out, unrolling the shoulders, so the tailbone is the last thing to descend. And then hug the knees into the chest. You're rocking side to side. And then take the legs long out in front of you. Start with the legs all the way together. Interlace the fingers, and then take the hands back behind you, so the tops of the palms face, the palms face back behind you. Flex your feet so the toes are coming towards your nose. Soften your shoulders. We'll do a few breaths here. So see if you can feel your breath start at your toes. Breathing in all the way through your legs. Feel the breath move through the belly, the chest, all the way up to the top of the head, out through the fingertips. As you breathe out that same path, breathing out of the arms, the head, the chest, belly, legs, feet. So inhale, breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to the hands. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath moves all the way down to the feet. Inhale, breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4. Last breath. Inhale, breathe in from the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to the hands. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way down to the feet. Gently release the hands. Open the feet up wide. Splay the feet open. Hands can come out long beside the body. Palms can face up. Let the whole body relax on the earth. Feel your body nice and heavy. If you have any props that you like to use for Shavasana, you can gather them now. Maybe a bolster underneath the knees, a pillow for the head, an eye pillow, or a hand towel to cover the eyes can be nice to block out any light. See if you can feel the whole body rested on the earth. Start by seeing if we can make fists with our hands. Squeeze the hands nice and tight. Then we'll continue to squeeze the rest of the muscles like that. So squeeze the arms, the shoulders, squeeze the back of the body, squeeze the chest, squeeze the belly, so nice tight abdomen. Squeeze the nose, the forehead, squeeze the mouth, make a tight jaw. Squeeze the cheeks, squeeze the butt, squeeze the thighs, the calves, the heels, the toes, squeeze the whole entire feet, whole body, squeeze, 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 nice and tight. Feel all that tension build. Deep breath in here. And as you breathe out, release all of the tension. Feel the whole body relax. Feel what it's like to have zero tension. The whole face is melting. The forehead soft. Relax the nose, the jaw, the cheeks. The eyes rest in the sockets. Soften your shoulders. Relax the arms, the wrists. Every finger rests. Relax the butt, the legs. Relax the ankles, heels. Relax every toe. Whole body rested. Relaxed. Shavasana. Coming back to the breath if you're ready. Back to your body. Maybe gently wiggling the fingers, the toes. If you're ready, giving your body movement. If you're not, staying in your Shavasana. If you'd like to continue to move, you can hug the knees into the chest. Keeping your peace, and maybe make your way into the right side, fetal position. Pressing the hands into the ground, using the strength of the arms to lift up to seated, maybe keeping the eyes closed. If you'd like to continue to stay in Shavasana, you can do that as well. If you're seated, maybe just noticing the breath again, just like we did when we started. Taking inventory of how the energy feels now versus how it felt when we started practice. Knowing that you're breathing in and knowing that you're breathing out. You're supported by this breath. The more we take time to practice and to cultivate this connection, the more able we are to continue on our path, to have more clarity, less confusion, and to lead a life from our heart space. Thank you so much for practicing with me.
allowing me to guide you, and practicing in general not only benefits you, but it benefits the whole world. The light, the love, and everything that's special in me honors that same light, that same love, all that's special in you. Namaste. Thank you all. If you have questions, comments, feedback, please message me. And then again, if you feel inclined to donate, I put my Venmo in my bio, both on Instagram and Facebook. However, it's always my hope for yoga to be accessible, so do not feel obligated. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much.